Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
I'm Vinny. And man, this is getting wild. Okay. Alibaba's been an absolute tear. One of our favorite stocks, Michael Burry's favorite stock. I'm going to talk about how it relates to Apple earnings in this week. And I'm going to give you like a future thing that could absolutely blow our minds as Alibaba shareholders as we get into it.
Possibly. And this
Yeah.
is this is Burry's Holdings. This is old. We've shown this a bunch of times. He's got a lot of money in China.
Yeah. And, Q4 2022 was like when he most recently started his acquisition of Alibaba shares.
Yippers peppers. All right.
Yeah.
Here's a chart. So as you can see, we have done this before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it shot up. I don't remember the specific reason for this. I think it was
Rumor of
Chinese
China
economy
stimulus,
stimulus.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stimulus.
Yeah.
And then
And,
they
you know,
reiterated the stimulus here.
Yeah. I said I would hold off until after the presidential inauguration because as you watch the U.S.-China politics play out,
Mm-hmm.
you might see tariffs, and then you might see kind of a response in terms of fiscal stimulus within China, which would be very good for Alibaba stock, potentially, at
Yeah.
least the short term.
And in
Um, you
terms
know,
of tariffs, we now have a date, February 1st, 10% Chinese tariff. So
yeah.
the stimulus was talked about again here.
Hmm.
As you can see, we're having a great time, but don't get your hopes up, guys. Look
Yeah.
what happened. And also, here's a weekly chart to put things into perspective. Um, Now, it is interesting. That little hump we had hit the 200 weekly, not day, 200 average and came right back down, and we are right there again. Yeah.
That's fascinating, scary, multiple emotions.
Yeah. 106 is where it's currently chilling at, but it came within $1.50. I told you these lines work, man. I mean, the big ones, not the little ones. So, what's happening, right? So it's going crazy because we have this whole DeepSeek thing where we have an AI model who rivals Chat GPT, but spent like $6 million instead of hundred millions. How's that do with Baba? So Baba, which this is after their I'm going to say this wrong, New Year or lunar something, where they're
Yeah.
usually off work and they chose to release this data.
Uh-huh.
So you can see they're in it's like an AI race, right? This is supposed to be kind of a quiet period actually for China. They released Qwen 2.5, which outperforms ChatGPT, DeepSeek V3, and Llama, all those numbers. Okay. Um, Now, it did not say that it beats R1 model of DeepSeek, that is the model that everyone's talking about right now. So this is from Motley Fool. They're saying, hey, it beats all these other things, not R1. And because R1 was also so cheap, they cut prices on 90% of on its offerings. So it's just a big race, right? Moon race.
Yeah. Very big raise. I'm pretty fascinated to see how this plays out. And this is an interesting little tidbit. We actually got Apple earnings this week, okay? And on the conference call, I don't know if you saw this, but Tim
Mm-hmm.
Cook was kind of talking about, the decrease in sales in China. And one of the things that the analysts have kind of looked at as a reason behind that was that, you know, Apple's intelligence program is not available in China. And because of regulatory reasons, they cannot put that product there.
Right.
Um, Now the question is, would they, how would they eventually bring that to market in some form? And what was kind of posited by Tim Cook is that they would have, kind of a device only, low grade AI on the phone. That would be Apple's product. But they would have to partner with a Chinese company in
Yep.
order to have like the more, not general AI, but the more complicated AI responses that would be off the device. Now, certainly, there's a few people in the realm here that could be very interested in this, and it could be an absolutely very lucrative business deal for many of these Chinese like tech AI companies. We'll see. We happen to
So
know or own one of them too, so I don't know.
right, but we don't know which one it's going to be.
Yeah.
So I went
What's
back
that?
and I looked at because Apple had been talking to multiple companies since like early June of 2024. So there's all these headlines of Apple in talks with ByteDance to possibly utilize AI in China. There's one for Alibaba. There's one for Baidu, all throughout the last 6 months, right? So
Hmm.
you can see they are going to probably have to speed this process up. because I think since they were doing this 6 months ago and there's been absolutely no evolution of AI on their phones in China, these new sales numbers of going from down 11% in quarter four, down 18.5 billion instead of the 20.9 billion is rough. But more importantly, that's not the bad number. The bad number is, let me move our faces. It's down here. Their biggest competitor, I pronounced that wrong.
Hawaii.
Hawaii, whatever. So one of those. Apple smartphone sales dropped 18.2%, while them increased 15.5%. So the exact opposite. Not good. So if they want to keep their hold, they need to find an AI. And as I got to move our faces, I'm doing a presentation in this. Okay. As Vinny said, we cannot use Apple Intelligence in China. No bueno. Not good. Who are we going to use? These are the ones that have articles or Apple has been in talks with. I think this one's crap. I think this was just a clickbait. They're worth like $3 billion. It's a startup. I put it on here for completion's sake. It's probably one of these four.
Oh, that's their name is Moonshot. I thought you were just saying any small random AI company and calling them Moonshot. I don't know.
Moonshot is the company. For completion's sake, I put it on here. I don't think it's gonna be one. All right. It's gonna be most likely one of these four. Apple talked to a couple other ones. These were the big four that had multiple articles where Apple was in secret talks with to utilize their AI for smartphones.
I have a hard time believing it'd be ByteDance either. So I would really have it down to 3 competitors myself. But
I agree. Also DeepSeek. I didn't put that on there for logically we were talking about that one. One not great thing. These are the share repurchases by day. So going from January 13th, let me get my arrow back, to January 27th. A little bit of a decrease here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, logically, you're like, all right, their share price is going up, so they're going to decrease. But if they truly thought, just playing devil's advocate, that their share price was still very undervalued, they would not slow down. They are slowing down. Now, this is a 2-week thing, right? This is you can't make a pattern out of 2 weeks. But if you bring these days back, this is all public on Alibaba Investor Relations. It is a markedly, decrease.
Yeah. We saw this during the last run back in September. As the share price approached like $100 per share, their buybacks almost stopped at that point. So I think it's a good use of capital. They're being very judicious with the shareholder value here. Last thing you want to see is some of these companies that we look back in hindsight and like, oh yeah, this one I'm going to do a video about tomorrow that was buying back shares when the stock price was quadruple what it is now. And you look like a fool when that happens.
Spoiler alert. What's the company?
I don't know. I don't want to reveal it yet.
You don't want to reveal it? All right. Fair enough. All right. So that's the Baba news. Look, I, as a Baba shareholder, am very happy it's going up. Until it crosses that 200, I'm not going to get excited because that 200, that's a real strong moving average. It has respected it. You can see in the previous ones where it was above it, it bounced off it multiple times. So,
And that's the 200 weekly moving average.
200 weekly, yes.
I just want to clarify for everyone out there that like to look at indicators themselves. I still won't have a covered call on my Alibaba position. We have this rumor or confirmed now rumor, I guess, of tariffs. Apparently was the sign today. It goes into place Tuesday. I'll be interested to see what the CCP counter move is to that, because we could see some trend breaking sort of moves, either up or down, depending upon the market sentiment following these reaction to this tariff news.
Yeah, we'll have to see. All right, guys, let us know what you think is going to happen this week in the comments with the tariffs. I feel not super confident.
Have a good one, I'll be the optimist here, man. I'll catch you in the next one.